Good afternoon, folks. Big Bo here with another great pickup truck trade-in value from Parkway RV Center. And folks, I'm about to show you my favorite pickup truck. For those of you who know me personally, you know I've drove Ford trucks for years. I own two of them now. Two things I know, folks, that's RVs and Ford pickup trucks. Today we're looking at a 2012 Ford F150 XL, regular cab, long bed. It's a work truck, folks, but don't fall under the misconception that this is just a plain Jane, no frills work truck. The technology in this truck is second to none. 2012 model, it only has 71,000 miles on it. And I know it looks like a plain Jane work truck, but when I go over the safety features, the technology that this truck has, you're going to be impressed. First of all, as we look around the truck, notice it's not all beat up, it's not all skin up. A gentleman traded this and a small camper in on a motorhome. It does have the trailer hitch on the back. It does have the brake controller in the cab and the right plugs on the outside to tow a camper. It'll tow up to 6,700 pounds. He did put the vinyl cover on the back. You can look in here and you can see the bed looks good. Got a rubber mat. But folks, let me tell you something about the Ford trucks. This engine in this truck is a 3.7 liter V6, their base model engine. Even though it's their base model engine, in 2012 this was the most fuel efficient truck on the road. It's rated to get up to 23 miles per gallon. And it does it by providing you 302 horsepower. Let me put it to you this way, folks. 2 years before, the biggest engine you could get in a Ford half-ton pickup truck was a 5.4 liter Triton V8. It had 300 horsepower, and on its best day, you got maybe 14, 15 miles a gallon. This is the base model 3.7 V6, and it gets up to 23 miles a gallon and has more horsepower than the big V8 that they used to put in these trucks a year or two before. Some of the features about this truck is, even though this is a base model truck, it's perfect for a teenage driver, new driver, because it's very safe. They've got the highest crash test rating of any pickup truck in 2012. Believe it or not, this regular cab pickup truck has 6 airbags in it. You've got passengers and driver's airbag. You've got seat airbags, and then you've got side curtain airbags on both windows. In each of these doors are solid steel beams going the length of the door to protect you from side impacts. It has RSC or roll stability technology for going around turns to reduce the power going to the rear wheels when you're going around a turn, so you can take the turn sharper and you can go faster without losing control. Folks, the tailgate on this truck, if you were to take this tailgate off, it weighs almost 100 pounds because it's got a steel beam that goes all the way across it. It's spring loaded. Look here, one finger. 100-pound tailgate, closed. It does operate off the flex fuel, the E85 gas, if you want to use that. This truck also has electronic steering. Gone are the whiny power steering pumps that burn gas. In this year model truck, it has electric steering, so the tire steering is electric. It's smoother, it's looser when you're at idle or you're going through a parking lot, and the faster you go, the tighter the steering gets. It's easier than turning the wheel on a small compact car. And because that's one less thing that has a pulley that's connected to the motor, you get better fuel mileage because of the fact that it's electric steering and it doesn't have a power steering pump, and you don't have to worry about keeping it full of fluid and all that stuff, folks. And the hood's clean, 72,000 miles, folks. This truck's got decades of life left to it. It's quiet, it's running right now, the air conditioner on. Interstate battery put in 8 to 15, so you're not going to worry about that for a while. The tires were put in last year as well. They look almost brand new. Folks, if you ever get into a severe front end impact, The bolts in this motor are designed to drop straight out the bottom so the motor doesn't come into the cab to you and crush you. Like I said, these have got the highest crash test ratings of any pickup truck on the market. It's in 2012 anyway, I don't know about now. But that's a 3.7, 302 horsepower, 284 pound-feet of torque if I'm not mistaken. It's got a 6-speed automatic transmission, which is very, very strong. Bed looks great, and you can take that cover off if you don't want it. And this is an 8-foot bed. I like an 8-foot bed in a pickup truck because I use a truck as a pickup truck. I don't use pickup trucks as station wagons like a lot of people do. I want to be able to put a piece of plywood in this thing and lay it down flat, or put an 8-foot ladder in here without having to put a ribbon on the back and let it hang out the tailgate. And that's why I like an 8-foot bed. This is a truck that you can actually use as a truck. And let's look inside. The air is ice cold. It does have manual crank windows. It does have vinyl seats and vinyl floor, which is a pickup truck, folks. But however, even though this is a so-called work truck based model, you still have your driving computer, you still have traction control, 12-volt hookups, ice cold air, and more. Very, very well insulated. Headliner looks great. The seats look great. It's configured right now to carry 3 people. You can see, you should have a catch over here. You flip this down and you've got a console. And even though this truck is a regular cab, it has tons of space behind the front seats. And another thing I want you to know about this regular cab pickup truck too, folks, let me cut that air down, is that I'm 6'4", and I can stretch out literally behind the pedals and not touch the floor with my feet. This thing has got incredible leg room. It's got storage under here, the little hidden storage. You should have a fold-out cup holder right here. Open this up, and there's your manual, your owner's manual. 6 airbags in here, folks. This thing is, it's everything you want. It's a durable truck. It's the best-selling truck in America for almost 40 years now. The Ford F-Series is. Windshield's perfect. This is the Ford windshield. Radio sounds good. Well, what if I found a radio station? The air's cold. It's comfortable. It's very well insulated. It's got the suspension on this thing is incredible. And thanks to this electric steering, I'm going to tell you one other benefit about this electric steering. You ever notice if you drift off the side of the road, they got those little rough patches to kind of keep you awake? You know, this electric steering has a counterbalancing effect. If you hit those spike strips, and normally it shakes your hand to pieces and the steering wheel does this, it doesn't do that. It counterbalances that, so even though you're hitting those spike strips, you hear it. You hear your tires going over it, but you don't feel it in the truck, you don't feel it in the steering. If you've got a rotor that's doing this number when you come to a stop, you're not going to feel it in the steering wheel because it counterbalances that. If you've got an out of balance tire, the same thing, that electric steering. So I know this is a plain Jane work truck, folks, but this truck has so many different uses. Use it, like I said, for a work truck. If you've got a kid and you want something cheap on insurance, you want something that your kid's going to, if they ever, heaven forbid, do get into an accident, that they're going to have a better chance of surviving. This will definitely do that with 6 airbags, all that steel frame construction. And just Google 2012 Ford F-150 crash test ratings, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And this is something that $10 is gas money again, because this thing gets up to 23 miles a gallon. Let's take her for a little test drive. And one thing, like I was saying, notice the steering is, of course I know you really can't tell in the video, but the steering's loose in the parking lot. That's the way it's designed to be. But when we're going down the road, it tightens up and gives you a lot more control. And with that roll stability control, when you can take turns and stuff, you're going to feel it hug the turns. And I guess the best way to describe it for those of you who've ever drove a high-performance sports car, the way they hug the curbs and they keep on going, that's what this reminds you of when you hit a curve. And I'm not saying it's a sports car by no means, but the way it grips the curb and goes around the curves, you'll really notice it. And another thing you're going to notice too is how well insulated this cab is. You don't hear outside noise like you do in the other brands, or even the older Fords. I mean, these cabs are so well insulated. There's no squeaks or rattle. The fit and finish of these Ford trucks are second to none. Let me go ahead and, of course, we've got a red light here, so. And it's such an easy one-handed driver. And if I can get around this traffic, folks, I'll stomp on the gas and show you what kind of power this thing has. I mean, this truck right here runs faster, will outrun most V8 trucks. And with that 6-speed transmission, this thing really just, it cruises the interstate 75, 80 miles an hour all day long without any problem. It does have a tow haul mode too, which is nice for hauling campers and stuff like that. That way you're not shifting in and out of 5th and 6th gears so much. It's got even little nice convenient touches too, like you just tap the turn signal and it blinks 3 times, cuts itself off. So when you're making lane changes, you don't have to worry about leaving your blinker on. You know, there's a reason why Ford is the best-selling truck of all time for almost 40 years now. It's because they make a superior truck. And the technology in this truck, even though it's 5-6 years old, it has features that some trucks in 2018 still don't have. And this is, again, folks, keep in mind, this is the XL base model truck. Now, the power of this thing, which I'm hoping to show you here in a minute if I can get around this traffic, is very, very impressive. And notice how little, I'm making a pretty sharp turn and how little I turn the wheel. That's because of that that's because of that electronic steering technology. And if you've never driven a truck with this electric steering, try one out. You'll never go back to the old style power steering. Never. You never have to worry about keeping it full of fluid. You don't hear that whine. Well, I was going to try to show you how the power is, but and this is a work truck, folks. We're running 70 miles an hour. I've got a semi truck next to me, and it's so quiet in here. I mean, it's just amazing to me how quiet the cab of these pickup trucks are. You don't hear any plastic squeaking or squealing or anything like that. That traction control when it's raining out and it's slick out is going to give you an extra edge and safety. I mean, folks, you just got to drive one of the, and whether you buy, if you're looking for a late model used pickup truck, folks, and even if you don't buy one from us, folks, give the Ford a serious consideration, because you're missing out on the best truck on the road. And I'm talking about somebody, I've been driving them for over 20 years. They just make a product there's nothing else like it. And in 2012, this was, even though it's a base model, was the best riding and driving truck on the road. 71,780 miles. And you're going to love that electric steering. You're going to love the roll stability control. You're going to love the safety factor, especially if you're going to put a young driver in here. And the good thing about a young driver is, and look how smooth it is, folks. Of course, that steering wheel's not going to shake anyway, but coming off the interstate, there's no vibrations. Anyway, folks, this truck is only $10,900. And I want you to get online, look at the NADA, which is over $13,000 with the miles. Look at what these trucks are bringing. I mean, first of all, to find a 2012 with only 70,000 miles is kind of hard, because it is 6 years old, and people drive these trucks, buy these trucks to drive long distances and use them for work trucks, and most of them are going to be 100,000 miles plus. The fact that this one's got 71,000 miles, the fact that this truck is in immaculate condition, it's got almost new tires, new interstate battery, no check engine lights, the air is cold, there's nothing in the world that I can find that doesn't work in this truck. And the fact that you can buy this truck for $10,900 with all the features it has, the incredible fuel mileage, the great power, I mean, it's a great deal, folks. It really is. You can check the NADA. It's thousands underneath the NADA. And, folks, we're not a car dealership. We're an RV dealership. So if this was at a car dealership, this is a $15,000 truck if you went to a Ford dealer or used car department or an independent used car dealer. This would easily be a $15,000 truck. I'm selling it for $10,900, and folks, I'm not taking a penny off that. I looked these trucks up online, and this thing really is a gift for what I'm selling it for. But like I said, I'm not a car dealer. I don't make a living selling cars. I do take cars and trucks in on campers and motorhomes, and that's where I got this one from. And when it comes to trade-ins, I price them for what I have in them to move them quickly, because I'm a high-volume RV dealer that sells over 600 RVs a year. I sell more RVs a year than most car dealerships sell cars. And stuff like this, folks, is a great buy, and I'm hoping that somebody will buy this truck in a camper, and we'll work out a combo deal. I have several campers that you can tow with this truck with no problem. And give us a call, 706-965-7929. Evenings and Sundays, 423-605-6747. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and Saturday, 9 to 5. If you want an RV and a truck combination, this can tow a pretty decent size camper. And the good thing about it is you're not stuck driving a dually truck for your everyday vehicle. I mean, this is a truck that you can safely and comfortably use for an everyday driver if you want to. And you're not going to have any complaints with it, I promise you. Let me take you for a test drive in this truck, folks, and let me show you the features about a Ford truck that many of you weren't even aware they made. And if you haven't drove one of these trucks since 2011 or 12, you're really missing out if you don't try them out. Thank you for watching. Financing is available with approved credit and down payment. We also take trade-ins. So if you've got a car, truck, SUV, camper, boat, tractor, lawnmower, I mean, I trade for anything I can sell. You know, I was going to let the traffic. Like I said, we're running 25, 50, 65, just like that, folks. I'm going to slow down because there's some traffic ahead of me. That's pretty impressive considering this is the base engine, and this is 23 miles per gallon. Of course, you're not going to get it driving like that. But anyway, folks, I think I've showed you. Let me try to show you one more thing here. I'm hitting the spike strip right now. Not a vibration in that steering wheel. That's that electric steering, folks. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, call us, email us, sales@parkway-rvcenter.com. 49 years family owned and operated since 1968. We can deliver this truck nationwide. It's $10,900, folks. I'm not interested in taking a penny less than that. I don't care if it's cash, food stamps, gold, silver, drugs. Well, not drugs, but I'm not going to take anything less than $10,900. I don't care how you're paying for it. So, but anyway, call us, email us. I look forward to seeing you here in beautiful Ringgold, Georgia. Thank you for watching.